Okay, so last time we discussed how Karna became the commander. Ashwatthama suggested that Karna is probably the best person to lead the army against the Pandavas, and he takes charge. Ashwatthama is Arjuna is again taken away by the Samshaptakas. So that particular day, Karna does not engage Arjuna at all. On the same day, Kauravas have had heavy losses, and Duryodhana is not happy. On day 17, when Duryodhana expresses disappointment, Karna then starts posting. He says, I haven't had the opportunity to challenge Arjuna, but now that I'm superior to him, I can challenge him. I also would like one favor. All good? Tanisha and Natasha, do you have a question? No? No? Okay. All right. So he does ask for a favor. He wants Shalya to be his charioteer. Duryodhana, who is a politician, convinces Shalya to be his charioteer. Then Karna starts boasting when he gets on the chariot. He starts boasting with Shalya, and both of them have a verbal spat. Duryodhana has to come and then pacify both of them. The war begins. Arjuna is again challenged by the Samshaptakas. Karna is piercing through the Pandava army, attacks Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira has to run away, and then Bhima defeats Karna at one stage. Duryodhana sends 20 of his brothers. 6 of them are immediately killed by Bhima very quickly. The Kauravas start running away, and then Duryodhana returns and he brings the army back together. Yudhishthira comes back onto the battlefield for the second time, but here Karna injures him and lets him go live, and Yudhishthira is not just injured, but he's also humiliated, and he's back in his camp getting some medical attention. When this happens, Arjuna and Krishna from afar can't see Yudhishthira's flag, his chariot. So then they start coming back towards the camp, and they realize that Bhima is fighting alone against the Kaurava army. He's doing a good job, but Arjuna goes to help him, and he asks Bhima what's happening. Bhima then says, look, I'm fine. I'll continue the battle. I want you to go and check on Yudhishthira before we come back into the battlefield. So Arjuna goes there. Yudhishthira, who's injured and whose ego is hurt a little bit, he goes off at Arjuna and his Gandiva. And Arjuna gets very angry and he goes to kill. He picks up his sword to kill Yudhishthira. Then Krishna has to stop him. And he says, look, I know, Arjuna says the reason that he wants to kill Yudhishthira because he's taken an oath that he will kill whoever insults the Gandiva. Krishna then stops him and says, look, how about you talk to your brother in singular tone and say some rude things. So Arjuna then starts bringing up all the reasons as to why they're at war. Then again, he says he's going to kill himself. Here, Krishna is surprised again. He asks, what happened now? He says, oh, I've taken an oath, I'll never speak ill to the elders. So I've decided I'm going to kill myself. So then Krishna says, no, this is what you do. You praise yourself, and you praise yourself in such a way that no man has done before, and it is as good as killing yourself. It is as good as suicide. So he does that. After doing that, he then feels guilty for having yelled at He's still guilty about feeling guilty about yelling at Yudhishthira, and he goes and falls at his feet. Krishna also does the same. To By the end of that episode, Yudhishthira is uh, apologetic. He says, "I shouldn't have said those things." He embraces Krishna and Arjuna, and they go back into battle. So I think this is where we ended last time. So now back on the battlefield, Bhima is really tearing through the Kaurava forces. Okay, Duryodhana sends Shakuni. He says he needs Duryodhana stopped, but Shakuni is very easily defeated by Bhima. Very easily, Bhima defeats him. Arjuna here from behind, he comes and he joins uh, Bhima, and he says he gives him the good news that Yudhishthira is all well and that they can continue battling. So Bhima is now on his own fighting. Arjuna starts being distracted by the Samshaptakas again, and he starts going towards them and he fights with them. Okay. Now it so happens that Bhima is now he's got even more energy because he now knows that Yudhishthira is good. So he takes his mace, gets off his chariot, and he starts killing the enemy. Karna then comes to their rescue, the Kaurava army's rescue, and he's fighting with Drishtadyumna. So I don't know if in the past I've explained how the battle happens. So there's two ways of doing it. One is you have one battalion fighting with another. There's a few kings on one side, fighting with a few kings and their armies against the other. The other battle is a duel. So it's like one mighty warrior fights against another mighty warrior, but they challenge themselves before they fight against each other. So this one there's a few kings, like for instance, Karna and his sons are fighting against Drishtadyumna, Satyaki, and the five Pandava sons. And Satyaki happens to kill Karna's son. Karna is very angry, and very soon he comes and challenges Satyaki and he defeats him. Bhima comes in. Bhima comes in, rescues him. Sorry, Shikandi comes in, rescues Satyaki, and counters Karna. Drishtadyumna also does that, and so does Drishtadyumna's son. So Satyaki is rescued, but Karna is now single-handedly fighting with Drishtadyumna and his son, and he kills Drishtadyumna's son. And Drishtadyumna has to leave the battlefield, and he comes back later. But here, once Karna has defeated Drishtadyumna, he starts advancing through the Pandava army very easily. Arjuna notices and he wants to come and challenge Karna. So he's fighting with the Samshaptakas. Samshaptakas are again the Asuras, the Rakshasas, who want to kill him, who have taken a pledge to kill him. So they are now standing his way and Karna's way. And when he realizes that the Pandava army needs his help, he's tearing through the Samshaptaka army and he comes forward. Okay. Ashwatthama, Kripacharya, and Kritavarma also now want to stand in between him and Karna. Ashwatthama first comes. They have a duel. He defeats Ashwatthama very quickly. Then Kripacharya comes. Kripacharya is also defeated very quickly. And then Kritavarma comes. All of them actually run away from the battlefield. They're not able to defend themselves against Arjuna's arrows. So Arjuna is so severe on them. On the other side, Bhima while all this is happening, Bhima on the other side is mercilessly killing all the Kaurava soldiers with his army. Dushasana challenges him. He slices Bhima's bow when Bhima is not fighting with him directly. He's fighting with another. Dushasana slices his bow, and Bhima gets angry. And he threatens Dushasana. He says, "Today I'm going to kill you for what you have done to us." Okay, and they're fighting. Dushasana and Bhima are fighting. Bhima is actually quite angry with Dushasana for breaking his bow. So he picks up a mace, the club, and he throws towards Dushasana with such a force that the arrows that Dushasana is using to try and stop the mace do not do anything for the mace. The mace actually comes and hits him on his head and it flings him off his chariot. The description is that he flings him off his chariot about 10 bow lengths. So from his chariot, about 10 bow lengths. Imagine that the bow is about 2 meters. So this guy has fallen about 20 meters away from his chariot. That's how powerful the throw was from Bhima. Not only has he fallen, Duryodhana, but he's bleeding from his head. His armor is damaged. His crown is thrown away from his head. His what's it? He doesn't have any weapons in his hand. His ornaments, all the jewelry and all that they usually wear, the kings, all of that is on the floor. He's completely disheveled. His hair. And Bhima now gets off the chariot and he takes his sword and he goes towards Dushasana. He on his way, he sees Dushasana is on the floor. He's not able to get up. Bhima is remembering all the wicked things that Dushasana did to Draupadi and to them. And he takes his sword, he puts his right foot on Dushasana's neck, grabs his arm and severs it. Dushasana is screaming. When this happens, the Kaurava army over there, they're just standing and looking at the entire episode. They don't know what to do. They're looking at Bhima and they're scared of him because of the way Bhima is charging at Dushasana. He's roaring, he's screaming Bhima when he's severing his arm. The next, he uses a sword and slices off his armor. Okay, and then with his bare hands, he puts his hands into Dushasana's chest and tears it. Here, Dushasana is screaming when this is happening. All the Kauravas are just shell shocked. They don't know what to do. Bhima not only tears his heart, he puts his hands into the chest and he takes out blood from his chest and he pretends to drink it. If you remember, he's challenged Dushasana at the when Draupadi's uh, being humiliated in the court. He tells him, "I'm going to tear your chest and drink your blood." While he's doing this, he's screaming and telling Karna, "I'm going to drink his blood." Karna, Duryodhana, and all these people. He wants them to know what he's doing. Okay, he's screaming on top of his voice. He's loud. Everybody can hear him, and he's pretending to drink the blood. He brings the blood so close to the lips that his lips are filled with blood, and the blood is now uh, flowing through his mouth and onto his chest. When he stands up, he's like Kali. He's like thirsty for blood of all the soldiers over there. Everyone is so scared. Imagine this. Even Karna is scared at this stage. The way Bhima looks with blood on him and all that, even Karna is scared. There is a story about him taking this blood and going and smearing it on Draupadi's hair, but that's not there in the original Mahabharata. Okay. Anyway, coming back to this one. Even Karna is scared. Okay. 10 of Duryodhana's brothers, they surround Bhima. Very easily, Bhima kills them. Very easily. Okay. Duryodhana hears about this and he's scared. He's a little distance away. He can hear everything that's happening. He's upset and he's sitting down on his chariot. Kripacharya and Ashwatthama have to go and console him. Karna, who is scared and he's just standing there doing nothing, Shalya has to come to his rescue. Who's Shalya? His charioteer, the king. He has to come to. He starts encouraging him. He says, "You're a great warrior. You're not supposed to be scared. Come on, let's fight." Okay, now when this happens, Vrishasena, who is Karna's son, he is fighting with Nakula. He starts fighting with Nakula and defeats Nakula. Bhima then realizes that Nakula is in trouble and he goes and saves Nakula and takes him away. Arjuna, who's now defeated Ashwatthama, Kripacharya, and Kritavarma, just earlier that I mentioned, he finally catches up with where Bhima is and he now is able to challenge Karna. They are now face to face. When this happens and the two are now face to face, Karna is uh, now ready to fight with Arjuna. But Vrishasena, looking at Arjuna, he starts fighting with Arjuna. Arjuna announces, he says, Karna, you killed my son illegally. I'm going to kill your son legally. With one arrow, he kills Vrishasena. One arrow. Karna now, who's just recovered and he's uh, now ready to face Arjuna, is angry because his son is killed. With that anger, now he's facing Arjuna and he wants to kill Arjuna at any cost. So you can see the ferocity with which he starts his battle with Arjuna. Okay, Arjuna counters every astra of Karna. Okay, Karna is not able to get past Arjuna's astras. So what he does is he wants to now kill Arjuna. Sorry, Krishna, who's on his chariot. So he releases 5 arrows. These are poisonous arrows, and they are like flaming snakes, serpents. Okay, they go towards Krishna very quickly. Arjuna, before Arjuna realizes, they actually hit Krishna's chest, his armor, and they go into the ground. Okay, when from the ground, they actually start going back into Karna's uh, uh, queer. So here, before they reach Arjuna, Karna, Arjuna shoots down all those arrows and slices them down. Okay. Karna then says, I have one arrow today, Arjuna, I'm going to kill you with that. So he pulls out an astra called Nagastra. Okay. Here, what happens is something interesting happens. There is a Rakshasa by the name Ashwasena. If you remember, there was a time when Krishna and Arjuna help Agni Deva destroy the Kandava forest. They burn the entire Agni burns the entire forest, and all the creatures that are coming out of it, Arjuna kills them. Okay, he defeats Lord Indra and then he kills them. Among those were Ashwasena's relatives, one of them being his own mother, Rakshati. She's fighting with Arjuna at that time and she is killed by Arjuna's arrows. Since then, Ashwasena wants to take revenge on Arjuna. So here, Ashwasena, who's a snake, realizes Karna has used a Nagastra. To strengthen that Nagastra, he sits on the Nagastra and he makes it more potent and it speeds up. That arrow speeds up towards Arjuna. Lord Krishna realizes what's happening. Right? He sees that this is no longer an ordinary astra, a Nagastra. It is now coupled with a Rakshasa who's dead, certain to kill Arjuna if Krishna doesn't do anything. Immediately, Krishna stomps his foot on the chariot, and the chariot goes down into the ground a little bit, about a foot and a half. Okay, even the horses, they have to kneel down. Okay, when that happens, the speed with which the arrow comes, it takes off Arjuna's crown. Otherwise, that day, Arjuna would have died. Okay, after this incident, the arrow goes back and sits where it belongs in Karna's quill, and even the Rakshasa goes behind Karna and says, Karna, release that arrow again. While this is happening, Arjuna's hair is disheveled. He takes a white cloth and ties his hair up again, and he's ready to fight with Karna. Karna, who's ordered by the Rakshasa to release the weapon again, Karna says, I'm not allowed to, and I won't uh, release the weapon second time in the same battle, in the same duel. We have to appreciate Karna for this. He does not release the weapon again as a principle. Okay, yeah, there have been a lot of times when he's been wicked, when he's broken all the rules, but this one time he does not break his own rules. He does not release the same weapon again. But Ashwasena, who's the Rakshasa, he wants to kill Arjuna. So he starts going in the air towards Arjuna to kill him. Then Arjuna notices this and he wants to kill Ashwasena. But Krishna tells him, this is no ordinary snake, it is the snake, and he reminds Arjuna of the Kandavadana, the burning of the forest, and he tells Arjuna who this Ashwasena is. And he says, you need to use so and so to kill him. So Arjuna uses exactly those arrows and kills the Rakshasa. So that's how that Rakshasa is killed. And as soon as the Rakshasa is killed, the chariot now comes back up on the ground, Arjuna's chariot. Okay, again, the battle between Arjuna and Karna resumes. The way Arjuna fights with Karna here, Arjuna's crown is short. Arjuna shoots arrows in such a way, just his earrings are clipped off his ears, Karna's ears. And then he takes another and he breaks Arjuna's armor. Okay, the armor he has. Now you need to understand the armor that Karna gave away to Indra was impenetrable. Once Arjuna gave away that armor, he got special sculptors to build him a new impenetrable armor. Okay, it wasn't as powerful as the armor he was born with, but it was still very powerful. No one could pierce that armor till now, till Arjuna did it. So just imagine Arjuna's skills here. He destroys that armor. And when he does that, Karna actually falls off. Okay, falls onto the chariot floor. And he's got now his back to Arjuna. Arjuna has his arrow in his bow, but he does not shoot because he doesn't want to shoot somebody on his back. Okay, Karna is shaken and he realizes his end might be near. This is when the earth gives way and his chariot's wheel gets stuck in the earth. If you remember, when he was in the past, when he was training under Parashurama's guidance, he happens to kill a Brahmana's cow. And the Brahmana curses him, saying, when you need the most, the earth will give way and it will not support you. That comes true today when Karna realizes he needs everything to work for him the most. Okay, he gets off his chariot and he tells Arjuna, Arjuna, my chariot's stuck in the ground. Please do not shoot arrows. Just refrain yourself till such time I've got my chariot off the ground. Immediately Krishna tells him, Karna talks about dharma. He says it is not dharma for somebody to shoot arrows at somebody who's on the ground. So immediately Krishna then responds to him. He says, wicked people remember dharma only when it suits them. Today, you know you are vulnerable. That is why you remember it. What happened to dharma when you guys humiliated Draupadi? When she was dragged to the court and you were laughing and supporting all of these actions. Where was your dharma when You instigated Dushasana to disrobe Draupadi. Where was your dharma when you asked Draupadi to select one of the Kauravas and leave the Pandavas? Where was your dharma then? Krishna starts off with Draupadi's insults and then he goes on. He says, where was your dharma when you forced Yudhishthira to do, play the game of dice when he did not know how to play and you made him play against Shakuni, who cheated him of everything? Where was your dharma when you and Duryodhana uh, poisoned Bhima when he was little? Okay, I know you did it. I know you are a part of it. Where was your dharma, Karna, when the Pandavas the house of wax was burnt? Where was your dharma then when the Pandavas completed their exile and they were claiming their kingdom back? Where was your dharma when you killed Abhimanyu illegally? When Krishna goes on like this, Karna does not have a voice. He hangs his head in shame. Okay? And Krishna tells Arjuna, don't have mercy on this guy. The other day, 2 days ago, all right, Arjuna, you were on the ground and you were fighting with everyone on chariots and elephants. Karna doesn't deserve any special attention. Fight with him. Karna here picks up his bow and he starts fighting with Arjuna again. Unlike popular theories where it says that Karna was killed when he was trying to lift his chariot, that's not true. Karna was actually in a duel with Arjuna, even though he was on the floor. Now, here, Karna actually happens to slice off the bowstring of Arjuna, and Arjuna quickly ties up the bowstring again and he starts fighting with Arjuna. Karna even manages to shoot an arrow and which strikes Arjuna on the chest, and Arjuna loses balance. Okay, this is when he's on the ground. So Karna is great warrior, but they are actually still dueling at this stage. When Arjuna loses his balance, that is when Karna tries to lift the chariot again, but he can't do it. When he is not successful, he goes back fighting with Arjuna. And here Arjuna then finally decides it is time to kill Karna. Okay, he picks up a special arrow and he prays to that arrow and he says, if I have followed Dharma throughout my life, if I have paid attention to all my elders, and if I have heeded to all the advice my well wishers have had for me, then please kill Arjuna with this arrow. He's asking the arrow to kill Karna. Sorry, please kill Karna today. And he releases that arrow. That arrow slices Karna's head. For those supporters of Karna, I hope if they're listening to this, they know that there was a duel between Karna and Arjuna, and it wasn't the case where Karna had let down his weapons and Arjuna shot him. It was a duel and he was killed fair and square. So once Karna was killed, the battle stopped. The Kauravas fled the battlefield. Duryodhana was distraught. Here in the palace, Sanjaya is telling Dhritarashtra the story. Dhritarashtra and Gandhari both faint for a second. They fall down. They can't believe that Karna is dead. Duryodhana, who had high hopes on Karna, lost all hopes that day. Immediately, Bhima tells Arjuna, go and tell Yudhishthira the good news. He goes and tells Krishna and Arjuna, go back and tell Arjuna the good news, Yudhishthira the good news. Yudhishthira is very happy. Okay, the day 17 ends here. Uh, I think we are at the end of our lesson. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, I'll end day 17 here and we'll start pretty much the end of the war next week. Yeah, anyone with any questions? Okay, I'll stop here.